living with ulcerative colitis. I'm Maya, and today's video is going to be about hair loss and inflammatory bowel disease. This is not a video that I ever thought that had a correlation, but after some research done by Mom and myself, I realized this actually is a thing. What causes hair loss with IBD? With inflammatory bowel disease, which are Crohn's and colitis, they are autoimmune illnesses. And autoimmune illnesses can affect what they're targeting, but it can also spread and affect different parts of the body. So hair loss is an extraintestinal symptom of IBD, meaning it's not isolated to the GI tract, it's happening someplace else. And it can happen because of stress, lack of nutrition, medications, and sometimes just the disease itself. And it can cause hair loss or changes in hair thickness. For medications, how does it cause hair loss? So some medications, they're supposed to be doing immune support, or they're supposed to be helping decrease flare-ups or decrease inflammatory bowel. They're supposed to be anti-inflammatory. But side effects that can happen as a result of taking this is the hair can become thinner, or it can lose some of its thickness or fullness, which is kind of the same thing. But by thin, I mean it can become like not as, what's the word? Well, I guess not as full. Maybe they are the same thing. It can also just result in having some bald spots that appear in random places over your head, or sometimes it can just lead to hair loss itself. And so sometimes people will report that this medication is causing hair loss, and so if you're worried about the particular medication that you're taking, you can look it up, and for sometimes it happens to some people, it doesn't happen to others, as it is a side effect. For nutrition, you can be missing certain vitamins and certain minerals, which can make it difficult for your hair follicles to produce new cells, and it can make your hair brittle and it can fall out. These are insufficient levels of vitamin D, riboflavin, it's a word, I swear. Folic acid and a deficiency of vitamin C can lead to a deficiency of iron. And this can happen due to heavy periods, decreased appetites, decreased nutritional absorption. And this happens in 40% of people that have IBD. They also have an iron deficiency. And the last way that can cause hair loss is stress. And it's kind of like two sides of a coin. So stress can cause flare-ups, and then flare-ups can cause hair loss, but flare-ups happen because of stress. So it's kind of they happen because of stress, but stress causes this and that causes this, and then it goes back to stress. And so there are different things you can do to help with this. For all three, you can talk to your doctor. So if you note that you are having some hair loss, then your doctor can refer you to a dermatologist, and they can see if that is one of the reasons why you're having your problems. They can refer you to a specialist that can help you grow your hair back, or prescribe you some medication that can help. But just keeping your doctor in the know of different things that are happening, or having to adjust medications. So if you note that that medication is making your hair fall out, then you can ask your doctor to prescribe you a different medication, one that does the same thing but doesn't have that side effect. And as said, certain medications do it for certain people, and certain medications don't affect other people. So it all depends on you as a person. You can take, for nutrition, you can take dietary supplements. You can take a dietary supplement for vitamin D, which also it happens. You can also get vitamin D if you are out in the sun. But for people with IBD, if you're in the sun too long, you can create dehydration. And so it has its problems. So if you note that you can't get a lot of sunlight because of extreme dehydration, then you can get the supplement at your local store. Vitamin C is also a supplement, riboflavin supplement, and you can get folic acid. Iron is the most common supplement. I take iron myself. Mine is specially prescribed by my doctor. And that is because when I was in the hospital, when I had my first surgery, my hair was really brittle, and it was creating a bald spot in the back of my head, and we didn't know why that was happening, because this was before I learned that I had UC, and so we didn't know what was happening. But once we started explaining that to the doctor, they gave me like a IV bag, but my IV bag had iron in it, liquid iron. And after that, I felt so much like awake, and my hair started growing back, and it took like 3 months for it to get back to where it was supposed to be. And I thought that was like really miraculous, but the doctor was explaining that that was because my iron was so low, and so that was one reason why I was having hair loss. Our fourth point that can help is taking care of your hair. And so again, for me, even now, because I know that I can suffer from hair loss, I thought this was just for me until I did the research for this video and realized this happens to a lot of other people. And I do like a deep condition. Sometimes you do like an oil treatment just to make sure that your hair is taken care of. One of the things that the website mentioned was to not have tight hairstyles. So for me, I sometimes have 2 French braids, but they can't be really tight because they can pull at the edges of my hair, and then that can lead to some hair loss. Also, not to comb harshly. So I always comb from the bottom of my hair to the top, so bottom to root, instead of root to the bottom, because I lose more hair that way. And so taking care of your hair. And our last point is having a healthy diet. A big thing with IBD is a decreased appetite when going through a flare-up, and so just monitoring your diet and making sure that it's fulfilling you. And to manage stress, because ultimately stress is this big factor when it comes to autoimmune illnesses, and it's one of the heavy hitters when it comes to what caused the flare-up and what didn't. And it's usually the flare-up is related, the stress is related to the flare-up, but it doesn't exactly cause it, because they don't really know what causes flare-ups, but it does aggravate it. So those are our points. I hope this video was helpful. Please like, share, subscribe, and press the bell for notifications. Bye guys!